I grew up in West Texas, Odessa. My father died when I was 10. We were living down south in Raymondville. I have an identical twin brother and an older sister. My name is Edwin Myers, and I live in Searcy, Arkansas. As I was growing older, I never dreamed that I would be living the way that I'm living now as a double amputee. That was the furthest thing from my mind, but I had a reaction to a medication, and the poison settled in my feet. The doctors tried very, very hard for 6 weeks to get rid of the poison, and finally they told me one day that there was no more antibiotics that I could take because any more that I would take would be a danger to me. And I said, look, if it's a matter of my feet or my life, just cut them off. And that was on a Tuesday. On Saturday, which was Saturday after Thanksgiving, they amputated both of them. And that evening, I began thinking about, my life is fixing to drastically change. And that night I just started sobbing uncontrollably. The dam broke, And my wife just held my head in her arms and stroked my head, and I went to sleep. I do remember the next morning when I woke up on a Sunday morning. It was a beautiful day, and the first thought that came through my mind, and I verbalized it aloud, I said, Lord, this was your day of resurrection, and it's going to be mine too. And I've never looked back. I chose Snell primarily because when I went in and visited with Cara, and she answered all my questions and laid out everything there for me, Mary and I got in the car, and Mary said, honey, this is where we need to go. We don't need to go talk to anybody else. But we sat down, and Cara answered every question. She was so kind. She told us about the program that Snell has. She said, we take care of you. We don't just make the appliance. We teach you how to use it. We make adjustments. We work hard with you on that. And Mary and I talked about it, and we finally decided that that's really what we ought to do. And that's a decision we've never regretted. They are just absolutely amazing with the way that they do. In fact, she gave me her card and gave me her personal phone number. And she said, you call me, I'm available to you 24/7. And that's been true. I suddenly got really interested in research. And I researched the company itself, and Frank himself and the reputation he's got, and all the people in all the offices around the state that he has. And did some checking, and they're all the same. They service you well. They have a program that works for you, and they're willing to go above and beyond. And that's what made me decide that I'd made the right decision. And the research that I'd done wasn't just advertising. It was just, it's true. That's what they really do. And it's how that they really care. Every time that I go and I sit down, the first thing Cara says is, I've got a question. Well, the question is usually, how you doing? Are there any sores, any problems, anything? And I said, well, I've got an answer. I was getting real cute with her. I thought, same old thing. She said, would you do my wedding? And I said, what? And she said, would you do my wedding? I knew she'd gotten engaged. And she said, Alex and I would like for you to do our wedding. And I said, yes, I would. I'd be honored to do that. And that was really an experience, really an experience. And when we went, walking down the aisle, no problem at all. In relationship to those that might be facing the same situation, whether it's been years ago and you haven't done anything, or whether it's brand new, don't get frustrated by expecting too much too soon. Now, it's hard, it's not easy, It's a simple thing, but it's not easy. But it can be done, and you just have to take one step at a time. You know, inch by inch. Life is a cinch. Yard by yard, it's way too hard. That's my philosophy. That's the first thing I do in the morning is thank God I'm alive, and thank God I have my wife that's such a good caregiver.
So,
She's too modest to talk about herself. Let me tell you something. The caregiver that she is what's made the difference.
but what really thrills me is that the man I married, his mindset, he has helped me become a better woman because of his mindset. There's nothing too hard, you know. It's not impossible. The improvements, I tell you, that Mr. Myers made. First of all, he's just incredible. I was so thrilled. The first time I saw him walk, it's just like you work and work and work, and then all of a sudden,
I got it.
it's like seeing your children take the first step. I couldn't help it, but I just was blown away. It just, and it was because of the care we were given. To go through all those struggles, don't give up. Life is going to be okay, especially when you have incredible people working. They're all unbelievable, really. Everything is perfect. Frank Snell, it didn't matter what time we called, he always answered, and he always was positive, you know. And
I think Snell is more of a mission
yes,
than it is a business.
oh yes,
That's the feeling
absolutely.
you get. I've never viewed it as just
Right.
a place where I got my
Right.
orthopedics. They're on a mission to help people know that they're not hindered
Oh.
just because of what may have happened to them.